They have been saying the cheaters are really bad, both in multiplayer and in Warzone, which I find pretty interesting because a lot of times, like especially in Verdansk, when everyone was complaining about cheaters, it was all Warzone. No one was, I guess there was no ranked multiplayer back then either, so maybe people cared less. But again, keep in mind, devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 403 also. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I'm joined by Tanner.
403, yeah.
For a fun and exciting afternoon of Call of Duty discussion. And Tanner's got a new attachment on his setup. What attachment did you get? What aftermarket part is that?
Oh, I had to get some new ear cups. My other ones were falling apart on me.
Did you do the weekly challenge to unlock them?
Yeah. Amazon.
Nice.
Amazon.com. Place the order, yeah.
They look perfectly serviceable. And I'm very pleased with that.
Cool, man.
Finally,
Thanks.
The orange camo dog poop is gone.
They had way less different styles than they did last time. I would have loved to have gotten some outrageous color, but there weren't any. Red was the craziest they got. There was like a light pink one, but I'm not getting that, obviously. But yeah, nothing crazy, man.
Yeah, well,
I can hear again though because it's more noise canceling now. The other ones were a little shot, so
yeah. Next up
Wicked
is the
cushions,
chair.
Yeah,
Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show. So today we have an episode about Call of Duty. We have a couple things to talk about. Not too much though this week, really. Yeah, a couple, kind of like last week, where we got small number of changes that were very impactful. This week, it's kind of the same deal, but a little less impactful. So we'll go over those and get into the details, as always, there. And in addition, some other news. In the news. Yeah. So
really?
Yeah. I'm just reading something. Hold on. Let's see. I think there. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. There's also, some cheating discourse on the TL. I want to talk about that as well. And then, as always, an often weekly segment. Trouble at Activision. So before we get into all that, a couple of announcements. First and foremost, welcome to our new patrons. We got a new gold patron this week, Nikki D. Change it. Don't call yourself Nikki when you're a grown man. Nicholas. You can be Nick or Nicholas. That's it. That's all. Nikki. Hey, are you older than 16? You're not Nikki anymore. So change that. But welcome aboard, Nick D. We appreciate it. Our newest gold patron. And also, we got a couple of upgraders. Kenny and Tabby V. Okay. With the joint Patreon account. I remember making fun of you guys for that. And I'd like to say again, I'm making fun of you. Have upgraded. From platinum to Damascus. A king and a queen. Welcome aboard.
Should we ban joint accounts? Should we make them get their own?
We could do that. Yeah.
I think we should
might
make
be
them
a
both
TOS.
get their own Damascus.
Yeah. We don't have a terms of service yet. It's not written down, but we do have one. And this might violate it. Yeah. We'll let you guys know. But keep your emails open. And thank you very much for the upgrade. And most importantly, longtime listener and friend of the pod, Diet Diesel, saw an opening in the coveted limited capacity Obsidian patron roster. And he joined up, baby. Get scammed, Diet Diesel upgrading to Obsidian. There can only be 10, and the roster is once again filled. And what do you get for Obsidian over Damascus? You get your own chat in Discord, not worth it. You get a different color name in Discord, not worth it. And that's it.
Doesn't sound worth it.
Doesn't sound worth it, yet people still do it to support the program, such as Diet Diesel. And we appreciate that, man. Diet Diesel, thank you very, very much, dude. Extremely generous. Enjoy the Obsidian Yacht channel in Discord. It's great to have you. And yeah, hope you stick around. Or not. We'll see what happens. But thank you. Very generous, and we really appreciate it. We also got a couple little donations offline that we will talk about. The first one was from Nicole for $5 United States dollars. Longtime listener, Nicole. You guys know Nicole. Who said, "Happy birthday, Casey. Cringe. Buy yourself a pack of gum. Enjoy chewing it with those slippery teeth." Wow. What does that mean?
Those things slippery or what?
They are slippery, yes. I finally got I'm done with my Invisalign, basically, finally. So I got the little... By the way, and this pissed me off a lot, I was talking to people, before I ever got Invisalign, I was talking to a couple people who had it, and I was like, okay, well, what do you think? Like, does it work? How is it? Is it, what's the deal? And they were all like, yeah, it's cool. And it's super easy. You just put the tray in and chill. And then you take it out when you eat and then you put it back in. And that's like what everyone said. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to do Invisalign. So I go into the place and then they're like, all right, cool. We'll sign you up. Sit down in the chair. And then they strapped me down like I was in a 1960s mental asylum and just started putting brackets on my teeth. Like braces, like you have to do for braces. They still do it for Invisalign. I was like, hey, man.
Really?
Yes. Isn't the whole point to not have to go through that? I didn't want this.
That. Do they really?
Yeah, that's why the slippery teeth comment makes sense.
What the hell?
They put in brackets so that, and then the trays you get have like indentations. So the brackets like hook onto the indentation to hold it better, I guess. So there's no wire, but there are brackets. It's super cringe. I was like, dude, this almost defeats the purpose, actually.
Yeah, it's just like they say they claim it's invisible, but it's not. It's very easy to tell in all these pictures. Yeah. Yeah,
it's not invisible. And once you have them in for a while, they start getting discolored looking and gross looking.
Yeah, that's how braces are. Yeah.
Yeah, which is how braces are too, but braces are metal. So anyway, whatever. Really dumb, but that's what slippery teeth means. I got them off finally. I'm done. Thank you, Nicole, for the $5. I will not be buying myself a pack of gum, but I appreciate the donation. It's very kind of you. We got another donation from Patios, friend of the pod, another longtime listener and community member, who said, "Happy birthday, Tanner," and donated 20 United States dollars. Wow.
Thank you.
Tanner, what'd you do for your birthday, man?
Not much, just like the usual. Pretty normal day. Average day.
Average day.
Just hung out, yeah. Just hung out, yeah. That's what I did for my birthday, yeah.
Very cool,
Warzone,
man.
I think. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to you.
When was my birthday? It was on, what, Tuesday? I think I played some Warzone. Yeah, I played Warzone on my birthday.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Patio!
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you very much for the $20 donation. We appreciate it, dude. Very generous. And last and most importantly, we got a donation from Tanner's brother-in-law, Chris, Boomertown Gaming, friend of the pod, very long time supporter and listener, who's in chat right now. And he donated and said, "Happy birthday, Raz." Wow.
Wait, whose birthday is it?
Yeah, I don't know whose birthday it is. This is getting crazy. It was someone's birthday. There was a little miscommunication. Maybe it was both of our birthdays.
Yeah.
Possible.
What did you do for yours then?
I didn't do anything either. Yeah. I just stayed home.
Both of us just did nothing for our birthdays. Yeah.
Yep. My mom got me a bunch of clothes and snacks, which was nice. Yeah.
Got a new fit?
New little fit. Yeah. Some new drip. So that was cool.
Don't new drip.
But anyways, and with that message of happy birthday, Raz, Chris donated a massive, whopping 200 buckaroos. Wow. That's insane. Very extremely generous. Chris, thank you very much, dude.
A lot of birthday love for us.
A lot of birthday love for us. We appreciate
We are identical twins. That's why we both had birthdays, by the way. That's why we had two different donations. So
yeah, that's something.
Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you guys. That's very generous. Chris, especially $200 is insane.
Thanks to Chris a little bit more than Pat, and then a little bit more thanks to Pat over Nicole. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. But thanks nonetheless to all of you. We really appreciate it. That is extremely generous. And that is exclusively why you didn't get timed out. You old dying bitch, Chris. Yes. I saw an email and then you tagged me and I did a deep inhale and I said it's fine. He probably didn't see it. El Kogaz, by the way. El Kogaz. Anyways, a lot of insider baseball here. But thank you guys for the joining the Patreon and the donations. Very kind of you. Speaking of the Patreon, by the way, we had our platinum and above Patreon Q&A go live this morning. Yeah. It was fun. We went very off script often, and I enjoyed it for that reason.
I think we answered 5 questions in 90 minutes.
We did not get through many questions. Yeah. Yeah.
That was about 2 months worth of questions, though, that we got through still, because most of them just scroll.
That's true.
My mouse wheel is actually loose now because of how often I was scrolling, just getting past the awful questions. Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of really bad ones out there.
A lot of terrible ones, but luckily for you guys, we skipped them. And then we answered decent or good questions, or we just talked about things that were more interesting than anything you could possibly think of. Broadcasters. So that episode went well. For those of you who are platinum or above patrons, that's live. You can go listen to it now. And if you are a gold patron and you're like, where's the Q&A? It's not for you, but it could be if you upgraded to platinum. They're fun. And the people who hear the episode, by the way, are the only people who can ask questions. So if you want to ask us a question, there's a higher likelihood we answer it if you do it in the Patreon Q&A channel, which is what platinum or above gets you, in addition to that episode. But anyway, it's now live. You can go enjoy it. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. Let's get into this sucker.
And if you want to see the worst chicken salad you've ever seen, look at Patreon Q&A.
It's, terrible.
Jake was furious this morning when I asked him about it. I said, you see the picture? He was real mad about that. Yeah.
As he should be. It was upsetting.
It's funny. I made chicken for dinner last night, right? And then I made a basic little side salad with blue cheese, some red onion, some bacon. Better than I can get at a salad restaurant, right? It's insane. They don't need to exist.
Yeah, that place is wild. All right, welcome to the show. Today, we have some patch notes to go over, starting with multiplayer. So here we go. Got just a little patch, little baby patch. This was on yesterday, the 21st, Wednesday. And there is a separate, unique Warzone patch notes that we will cover in a moment. But for now, this one. Starting off, global Ricochet anti-cheat. That's interesting. Let's see what they have to say, because we're going to talk more about this. The Ricochet anti-cheat team has been tracking a spike in cheating reports within the community. Okay. I wonder what that could mean. We are currently in test for additional security updates. However, the following updates have just been deployed. Disabled game code for limited time perks, such as super speed. Yeah, so one of the cheats that was happening that was kind of like ruining the game for everyone, especially in ranked, which is insane, is one thing cheaters were doing was equipping the zombie power-ups as permanent perks on their loadout. Yeah. So you know how you can pick up that in like pubs, Fortune's Keep, you can pick up the thing that makes you move like 800% faster. People were just, for like 10 seconds, people were doing that 100% of the time. They would just have that as their default movement speed, and other zombie perks. So that wasn't great, and was ruining the game. So Ricochet disabled that for a limited time. By the way, it wasn't Ricochet, it was just some devs. This has nothing to do with a kernel level anti-cheat. I'm not sure why they would even include it in that section. Maybe because Ricochet is not a kernel level anti-cheat. We'll get more into that. As part of our ongoing security updates, a single telemetry system was taken offline for upgrades over the weekend. This resulted in cheat developers claiming Ricochet was offline. It was not. Okay. As a result of monitoring activity over the weekend and the purposeful reactivation of this upgraded system, Ricochet was able to identify and ban over 6,000 accounts in our free-to-play, easy-to-access Call of Duty online multiplayer Warzone video game for cheating and hacking from February 16th to the 20th. Cool, 6,000 accounts. Now keep in mind, that doesn't mean 6,000 cheaters. That means probably 300 cheaters. Because guess what cheaters do? They make a lot of accounts. Why? Game's free to play.
Yeah, they get accounts,
charge us money. Charge me money for Warzone. I'm there. I've gotten there.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been there, but now I'm there more than ever. Make me pay money for Warzone. Make me pay even $1. That would probably actually help a lot. Because these cheaters will get buckets of accounts. They'll get like 20. Make it $1. Make it $5. See how the cheating is? Make it expensive. $20. $100. Yeah. I don't care. I'll pay it. Business expense.
But they already pay all the other stuff. They pay for the hardware ID spoofers. They pay for the cheat itself. I don't think they're going to care if it's an extra $1 at that point. They're probably already spending $50 a month or so. At a minimum. I would like if it cost money, though.
I mean, yeah, I agree. $1 is obviously not gonna help that much, but yeah, like $10 maybe, like that would be good. You know, I don't know. I think a lot of people would be very happy to pay money if it meant there would be fewer cheaters, which there absolutely would be, because I think one of the problems with Ricochet actually, or I think the reason it doesn't feel that effective and that you see cheaters all the time is only because the game is free to play. Like a lot of the times, the people that are very obviously cheating when I play Warzone are level 41. So like, okay, well, obviously this is a new account, and it's not this person's first time playing. They're cheating. So they just made that account, and if instead Warzone cost $20, would they have done that? How many times would they be willing to purchase a new account to keep cheating in Warzone? If it was $20, probably not often, honestly. And a lot of people wouldn't even try the first time because they wouldn't want to get their one account banned. So it's good. It's just impossible to have a free to play game that's this popular and an anti-cheat work well unless it's actually kernel level, which this one is not. So
yeah,
we've talked about this to death, but anyway, moving on. Our team continues to work on updates, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So other than that, in this patch notes blog here, customization, some bug fixes, don't care. Some more bug fixes, still don't care.
Yeah, this is just multiplayer.
Yeah, a couple little multiplayer tweaks and all that. And then some weapon balancing that was done. And kudos to whoever does weapon balance these days for multiplayer. I suspect it's also Raven, honestly, because it's always the same guns that get changed in both, just in different ways. They've been doing a lot of weapon updates. So the MTZ 556 got a buff in multiplayer. And then a couple other changes that I'm just not reading. This is interesting. Canted lasers. Canted aiming will no longer remove all pellet spread on shotguns. Huh. So it was doing that before. Every pellet would hit like the same spot. That'd be really good. So probably good that it doesn't work that way anymore. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting.
Couple other things here. And then there's another section that I won't be reading. It starts with a Z, but it's not a fun game mode. So that's it. Yeah. So not too much there. A couple little weapon balance and bug fix things for multiplayer, but not really going to talk about that. And for anyone that would care, all the stuff that got changed for weapons is banned in ranked play anyway. So it doesn't matter for you guys either. So now moving on to the Warzone section of this February 21st patch note. They say the same things about Ricochet. Couple gameplay adjustments in Warzone. The size of an advanced UAV.
Hold on. No. You skipped over it. We got to read the playlist section.
Well, I was going to, but it's later on in the.
Not for me. What are you talking? Where are
Thursday.
You starting then?
No. I mean, it's like in real time. It's okay. The Thursday patch, not the Wednesday patch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we need to start on the 16th. Actually, we haven't covered that either.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Oops.
You didn't cover it for multiplayer, but it doesn't matter. It was just one change to the TAC Evolver, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think the Evolver was likely nerfed in multiplayer as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll start with the February 16th patch. Yeah, you're right. We didn't cover this. The TAC Evolver fixed a bug that caused limited recoil while using the base weapon. Okay. That actually explains why everyone's first impression was like, this gun has no recoil. It still does have low recoil with attachments, but especially without them, it was kind of insane. But anyway, it was nerfed a lot. The 7.62 was nerfed in a bunch of ways. And again, I would imagine this was for multiplayer as well. And then probably more importantly, the 5.56 ammo was nerfed as well. And the reason I say this is most importantly is maybe you guys have forgotten, but people were doing a tac stance build with this gun with the 5.56 ammo, and it was absolutely broken. It is not anymore. They changed a bunch of things, like 12 things, and they're pretty much all nerfs. So delete that setup if you saved one, because it's not good anymore. And then the 7.62 got hit pretty hard as well. Although its minimum damage was not touched. So its max damage got lowered and its max damage range got lowered. But again, when we're playing Warzone with our primary weapon, a lot of times you're not hitting people at your max damage range, you're hitting them at your minimum damage range, which is like far away. And that didn't change. However, also, neck multi was lowered from 1.3 to 1.2. And then other upper torso, upper arm, and upper leg were also all reduced by 0.1, the multipliers. That does matter regardless of the range. So long range or short range as well, unfortunately. So it was nerfed. I wouldn't say it was totally gutted. It's still usable as like the long range gun, but you're not going to do nearly as well inside of 40 meters, your first damage range, because the max damage got lowered from 45 to 40. You're going to get torched by the ram, in other words. And you aren't going to do quite as well at long range either because of those multipliers being lowered. So I was playing yesterday. Jake was still using it and saying it still felt quite good. But not many other people have been using it.
Yeah,
and there are probably better options. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about that in an episode coming up because the long range meta, it's kind of rough right now, I think.
It is pretty rough.
We're at that point now where I think all of them take a little too long to kill, in my opinion, for having generally the amount of... It's like you either have a slow time to kill, but it's controllable, or you have a faster time to kill at range and you have to use iron sights. Like you kind of have to pick one of the two. It's not the most fun thing in the world right now, which is kind of making snipers extremely common. Like there are a lot more people sniping now because I think people are starting to realize that the long range time to kills are getting a little long. But we just need more guns to be buffed, I think, at this point. They need to just stop nerfing these guns at range and instead, I think, start buffing some other guns.
Yeah. And the problem with like making the long range time to kill too slow, the reason that is bad or can be is because if you make it slow enough, like right now, the long range time to kill, if you hit every bullet, which you're not going to, is going to be like 1100, like 9 to 1100 milliseconds.
Like hitting, that's exactly what it is. If you're hitting every shot.
If you're hitting every shot, which you won't be. On the other hand, the close range meta with an SMG time to kill is 550 to like 700 milliseconds if you're hitting every bullet, which most of you will be.
Yeah.
So when the discrepancy gets that wide, so it's like a functional time to kill of like 600 versus probably 1800 milliseconds. When the gap gets too wide and it's real close, if not already there, all that means is people are going to just stop trying to kill other people at long range. And then every single gunfight is going to be pushing to close range.
And that's kind of how it feels, I think. Yeah.
And that's what like Modern Warfare 2 was or Warzone 2 for a good amount of the time in that game. And that was super boring. Super boring and uninteresting and lacking a lot of variety. You were just not in danger far away because there was no good zoom optic. So this was kind of true for pretty much almost all of Warzone 2, actually. Everyone would just have to push if you wanted to get kills because you couldn't do it far away. No one would even try. And then every gunfight is just people pushing you or you pushing people, and that gets super boring. So you want the long range time to kill to be, longer than the close range one, obviously, but close enough to where it's like worth doing. And we might have gotten a little bit away from that currently. I'm not doomer pilled on it though. I think we could get back, and I think we likely will. But
yeah, I think we will.
Right now, yeah, it's a little rough. Because like Tanner said, it's like you either get a gun that doesn't have recoil, but takes 2 seconds to kill someone, or you get one that does have recoil, so you can't really shoot it that long of range because you can't put an optic on it. So, yeah. Anyway, that was the Friday patch. That was it. They just nerfed the evil there. So, moving on to the next patch we had gotten, which was yesterday, February 21st. So again, yeah, they write about Ricochet, and then some gameplay adjustments. So advanced UAV, the size of it has been increased by 2.5 times. That's crazy. And I wonder if that applies to the black site UAV that you get. So if you capture a black site, do you now have 2.5 times the diameter of your circle? That would be really broken. Extremely broken. Anyway, this ensures... Oh, no, it wouldn't be. It definitely wouldn't. Here's the next thing they say. This ensures all of Urzikstan is within view for the player that calls it in. Okay, so never mind. Black sites didn't change. But now, yeah, advanced UAV, it shows literally everyone. Okay, that makes sense. Because that was like the intention in the first place. So, I haven't seen an advanced UAV on Urzikstan, by the way, in like a month. So, I guess it's because we don't do black sites, but yeah.
Well, are they? I'm kind of just thinking they're talking about when you call in 3 UAVs at once, mostly.
Oh, is that what you think this is?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a great question.
Are advanced UAVs even in? I don't know if I've seen one in this game. Do you get them in black site still?
For black site rewards, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't. We've probably done a total of maybe 2 black sites in this game. So yeah, maybe. I think it's a chance to spawn in a black site. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed. I do wonder if this applies to calling 3 UAVs. That's a really good question. Because that would make doing that way more valuable. Yeah. Because then you would actually see literally everyone on your map. Regardless of if they were ghosted or had a vest or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you'd see everyone. I'm very... Okay.
Yeah, these may be worth popping, actually, now.
Should it work that way? If you call 3 UAVs, you get the whole map to show up and not just your area.
I mean, that's how it used to work. That's how it did work. That's what an advanced UAV was. It would show every single person on the map pretty much, wouldn't it? Well, that's how it was back in like Verdansk and Caldera. It was basically you saw everybody.
That's how like the advanced UAV item worked. I don't know if that's how it worked when you popped 3 regular UAVs.
It did at some point. Maybe not like early Verdansk, but maybe it was like Caldera when they made that change where popping 3 was an advanced UAV, or late Verdansk. I don't know, but it did work the same way as a regular advanced UAV, if I'm not mistaken.
So it showed the whole map then?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So basically, yeah, I think what they're saying here is it was just not as large of a zone as intended. So, yeah, these may kind of be worth doing now, actually.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like having intel on the whole map doesn't really help you that much. Like, in general, popping 3 separate UAVs based on where you are or where you're going, I think is a lot more important than popping 1 advanced UAV to know where everybody's at. Because, like, 80% of that just doesn't matter. Like, people on the other side of the map and downtown on rooftops doesn't matter at all if you're fighting in, like cargo or something.
And but Ghost is just way less prevalent now. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it should work that way if you pop 3 regular UAVs as well. Yeah. It should show the whole map. Because, yeah, it's not that good a lot of times. And even if it is really good, which you could make an argument for, I guess, that's also, you just spent $18,000. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of money. So I think it would be warranted if it was very good. But yeah, so, okay. Well, we don't know for sure if calling 3 separate regular UAVs will give you an advanced UAV effect on the whole map or not, or if this just applies to the literal single kill streak item called advanced UAV. I don't know, but hopefully we will. Well, we may or may not find out because, yeah, it doesn't matter that much. I'd rather hold them. I'd rather have a regular UAV for whatever, 90 seconds than an advanced UAV for 30 most of the time on Urzikstan for sure. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. We may or may not let you guys know. Moving on. Weapon adjustments. So we got some changes to the weapon balance in Warzone as well. Again, the MTZ 556 was buffed. This is the assault rifle. It was not buffed a ton, but it got a good amount of benefits.
I think it's usable now. Yeah. It seems in the meta. Like for ARs, it's actually probably one of the better ARs now since most of them suck.
Yeah. It got less recoil and it got more damage and more damage range. So that's pretty good.
That damage range is huge. 24 meters to 35 for max damage. That's nice.
Yeah. That's actually, yeah, you're right. That's a really good first damage range. Yeah. 36 meters instead of 24. That is a big deal. And a lot of gunfights will happen inside of that, especially once you throw on a long barrel, which you're probably going to. You're looking at like 40 to 42, maybe, if you're doing suppressor as well. First damage range.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gunfights, even on Urzikstan, will happen in that range. And
Metaphor was running this earlier. Yeah, it looked
nice.
Is
really good. Yeah. So
yeah, he was using it that way, kind of like closer range fights and everything with an SMG, but it looked really good. Very low recoil. Looked nice.
And I wonder how this would do, not just on Urzikstan, but on ranked. On Fortune's Keep.
Oh, yeah. The Ram's probably still just better up close is the thing.
Yeah.
Ram's still so good at close range.
Yeah. We haven't looked at numbers, but yeah, Ram's probably faster inside of the Ram's first damage range. However,
updated?
One thing to keep in mind if you are playing Ranked Resurgence right now and you're using a Ram, you are on minimap. It might be worth it to you to switch to this because you could afford to run a suppressor for sure. And then, yeah, you'd be killing slower than a Ram probably inside of the Ram's first damage range, but you would be off minimap. That might be worth it. I haven't used this yet, but I will be doing that, and I will report back on how it felt. But yeah, didn't become overpowered or anything though. But it seems like it's probably usable. So
yeah.
Haymaker Jack Maglift kit, which is one of the new aftermarket parts, was changed. RPM is 500 instead of 357, so that's a lot better. However, the pellet count is 5 instead of 8. So I don't know if that makes it better or worse in terms of time to kill. I have no idea. But
yeah, I don't. This just came out like yesterday. I thought didn't it just come out yesterday or 2 days ago? Maybe, I don't know. This is the shotgun with a 60 round mag.
Oh, that's what this is.
It does have a really good time to kill, up super close though. So I don't know if this will become meta maybe in like Resurgence, but its max damage range is like 3 meters or so, but it kills in like, I think it's sub 400 milliseconds.
Jeez.
But it's like 2.7 meters maybe, so you really have to be inside of them.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, keep your eyes on that, I guess. Maybe that attachment is worth unlocking. The thing, however, with Raven this year, it is very obvious that they do not want shotguns or snipers to be even viable, honestly. So if this is viable right now, it won't be in like a week. They don't like people on keyboard and mouse having fun, I guess. So that's why I switched to controller. W controller, LKBAM. Moving on, snipers. The longbow, don't care. Don't use it. The tier, don't care. Don't use it. And then canted aiming will once again no longer remove all pellet spread on shotguns. K. Rank play resurgence. Gameplay adjustments. We got some good news for you here, kind of. Asterisk.
Some good and bad, yeah.
Some good and bad, yeah. Good if you're not top 250, so good for all of you, actually. Redeploy drones. Except this one, actually.
Yeah,
L. Dang it, L. The total number of redeploy drones, which are the balloons, has been reduced from 8 to 5.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, that we talked about that on Saturday, saying that was one of the best things about ranked over pubs is having more balloons.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. Also, the balloon placement, I'm pretty sure it's static. The couple times I looked when I was playing ranked yesterday for a little bit, basically none of them are usable. They're all just on the beach. So like 3 of them are along the southern beach where you're never going to go anyways. And then there were like 2 somewhere else. I don't even know where they were at. But this makes no sense to me.
What about Ground Zero?
I think that one's still there. Pretty sure that one's still there. I think it's that one and then one somewhere else, maybe like up above Keep on the beach or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure if they're static. That's where they were a couple times. But this doesn't make any sense to me, right? Because first of all, you designed such an awful map that sometimes you're kind of forced to use a drone even though you don't want to, right?
Right.
So like it's kind of nice to have more of them. The other thing, they're balanced because they're easy to shoot them down. They take 4 bullets to shoot down. Anybody can do it from anywhere on the map. You can shoot down any balloon on the map.
And you're easy to shoot down when you're doing it too.
They are very dangerous. Yes. Yeah. It's obvious when you're using them. You're going to be... Everyone on the map will see you. This doesn't make any sense to me overall. I don't understand this change at all. I didn't use drones a ton, but now I'm just annoyed that they changed this anyways, basically because of the premise. It's like, why? This was stupid and unnecessary. And it's just, they were perfectly balanced, dude. Like you could so easily shoot people off them, shoot them down. This is dumb. I don't like this change.
I agree. L change. This is where I would have loved to have seen the patented Raven blurb, the italicized box where they explain why they did this. Because I actually don't understand the rationale. I don't know why. Why did you do this?
I would love to see what their thought process was there.
Super weird to do and a huge L. And by the way, this now means, if I'm not mistaken, that ranked play has 5 balloons on Fortune's Keep and pubs has 4. Yeah, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's an extra balloon in ranked. What? That's just weird. Just at least make it 5 in pubs also. I don't know. We need 8 in pubs and in ranked. This is a bad change, but whatever. Kill streaks. Players will now encounter less CUAVs, they meant to say fewer, higher, better people, in loot. Okay, I mean, that's cool, but take them out, period.
Yeah. I was watching some streams yesterday, and the 2 people I was watching, they both said the same thing. They're like, it doesn't feel like they lowered the spawn rate. Like I think I was watching Scummin at the time, and I think there were 4 counter UAVs up on the map.
Scummin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize how toxic he was.
I told you, dude. Yeah.
I've never really watched his streams. He's so funny.
Yeah. He's real toxic. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, fewer CUAVs. That's good, I guess, but just remove them. This is not enough. And then mosquito drones, on the other hand, have been banned from ranked play. So you will not see them. You can't buy them. This is good. At least. This is the first, just good change. So I'll take it. And now moving on to what they had already talked about. SR. Only the following players will receive kill and assist credit when a player is eliminated. The player who downed them, or teammates who damaged the downed player before they got downed. In other words, you will not get full kill credit if you only do damage after the guy is downed to get the thirst. You have to have done the damage prior to the down. We talked about this at length. I'm not going to explain it again. Here's a little blurb they wrote, though. This change is being made to ensure the competitive integrity of kill and assist SR by removing the ability for players to tap down to enemies to overinflate their SR gains. This change will also help streamline gameplay by preventing disruptions rooted in prolonging eliminations to tap. With these changes and our increase to squad mate kill SR in Season 2, gameplay should feel just as rewarding and much smoother. So now, to kind of compensate for the loss of SR everyone will have because you can't tap anymore, squad mates kill SR has been changed. Players will now earn squad mate kill SR regardless of whether or not they are dead or alive. So the way it used to work is if I was full dead after resurgence timer, or even with Resurgence Timer, I think, actually. And
no, I think if you were on Resurgence, I think you would still get the SR. I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah. Well, in any case, when you were full dead, no Resurgence Timer in Resurgence, and your teammate got a kill, you would get 0 SR. So you wouldn't even get the squad mate kill SR. That is no longer the case. If your teammates kill someone, if you do no damage to them, whether you're dead or alive, you will get that squad mate kill SR in either case. Now, again, this is kind of to compensate for the elimination of the taps, but it doesn't do enough, obviously, because number one, you're not going to be full dead in Resurgence very often at all. You either are going to have a timer or you lost the game. It is pretty uncommon in trios ranked post Resurgence timer closing that one teammate or two teammates is alive and then the game goes on for a long time. Like, that just doesn't happen that often. So this is like probably a good change, and I think it does help a little bit, but we are seeing rather exactly what Tanner had talked about on Saturday, which I agreed with, which is that now it is very difficult to gain SR for these top 250 players. And a lot of them have been complaining on the TL. Because like now that they can't do taps, if my deployment fee is 5,000 SR and then my death fee is 100, which it basically is right now, I have to not only win the game, but get like 40 kills to get positive 5 SR. At that point, why would I even queue? Well, it's their job, so they kind of have to. But I mean, some people are absolutely going to start camping top 250 now because it's just way too difficult to get SR at these high ranks.
Yeah, that's what the top 250 players were talking about on Twitter yesterday. There were a bunch of people making jokes that were like, "Congrats to Adrian on finishing #1 in ranked this season. Like, all he has to do is just not queue again, and he'll hold this spot." And so that was a big discussion too, because that's what you had said on Saturday, and I saw a bunch of tweets of that. Like, there's actually no reason to play if you're like top 5 or something, because you're not going to gain SR. Yeah. I watched Scummin win a match. He had 20 kills. And they won the match, and he lost the game.
And he lost SR.
In no world does that make sense. Yes. He lost SR still.
That's it. 20 kills?
20 kills. Dude. And they won the game, and he lost SR. Now, I agree with you. I don't think they should be gaining 200 SR for every win like an Al Mazrah. I agree with you. But he should not be negative with a 20 kill win in ranked Resurgence. It doesn't make any sense to me. A 20 kill dub, his teammates didn't have very much. That was the other thing. He was blaming them, which is true. They had like 5 and 6 kills, so that's why he didn't go positive.
Still, though.
Yeah, still.
That you should not.
You should not be losing SR there at all. He should be gaining something at least. So
I agree. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. They all seem to not be liking this system, and it's like, well, yeah, duh, right? That should have been very obvious. But a lot of them wanted the taps gone, and that's kind of what happens when a lot of people don't put any more thought into it besides that. Like, oh, I just want taps gone. Okay, well, other things need to change that system to work, right? And now we're seeing it. They remove taps, and the system's not working for the top players. So
yeah,
I think at this point, what they should do is just, because this issue again is only for the best players, basically. Iridescent and above. This doesn't matter to anybody else, pretty much. This isn't a problem for anybody else. I think at this point, they need to just probably lower the deployment fees, because it goes to minus 280. Minus 280 is insane.
Yeah.
When you get, 150 for a win, 175?
Yeah.
So I think they do that, and that would kind of solve the issues. Because, it's not really a problem at the lower ranks. It's just the top.
And that does make a solution easier. Exactly. Is like, This is really only a problem for, again, like top 250 and like Iridescent Plus, probably. So all you have to really do is just very gradually lower the, well, maybe not so gradually to start, but gradually enough, lower the deployment fee at every threshold you have now. So Iridescent is from what, 180 to 300 or something? Or what is it?
No, it's like 110, I think, to 280.
Okay.
I think it starts around 110.
So just have it be like 110 to 250. Do that for a couple days, and then have your community manager scroll through Twitter, which he's doing anyway. And that's all he does. No, they're good. I'm teasing. It's not Infinity Ward after all. And then see what every top 250 player thinks. Are they gaining too much SR? Are they still not gaining any? Are they playing the game? And then if 250 is still too punishing, then you just lower it to whatever, 230. And when you do that, obviously, every step between 110 and 230, you lower by the same amount. Obviously, that goes without saying. And then you keep doing that until you get to the sweet spot. And then I don't think you actually have to change anything else. Because, this is not a problem for any other rank. It's still very easy to get to whatever rank you should be at. So I think that would be the simple solution. It wouldn't disrupt anyone else's gameplay. And then we would have just a way better system. Because it was annoying having to get taps, and it's nice not having to do that anymore. For sure.
So that's the other thing. Now the top players are also, they basically do a tap before they down the person. So like if they're in a 3v1 or a 3v2 and they're all stacking, they'll slide by, shoot a couple guys, they'll life ping them, they'll be like, I got my tap. And then the other two will do the same thing, so they all get damage on the guy. Really? So they're talking about it. They're like now the taps have just changed to tapping when you're down to just making sure to get one bullet into the guy before they die. And then another thing I saw some of the people talking about as I was playing is they were like, they need to just make it so all teammates earn the same amount of SR for kills regardless of who gets them. And I don't understand why so many of them want that. I really don't. Like, if I'm random queuing ranked like I've done, and I drop 16 kills like I've done, and my teammates have 4 and 2, in what world should they get the same amount of SR as me?
Yeah.
When they got 6 total kills. That doesn't make any sense either. That's
agree.
stupid.
Yeah.
That's just, so it's like Scum in that match, what his teammates that got less than half of his kills combined should be awarded the same amount of SR as him? No.
Yeah, agreed.
How does that make any sense? I don't get why so many of the top 250 want that. It's like, dude, that makes the top 250 even more of a joke because it's all about who you play with. So
yeah, you can just get boosted super easily. Yeah,
I think the best system they can do is stay. What they have right now is fine. Just reduce the entry fees for the top players.
Yeah,
and that would I think solve most of the issues.
I agree. I don't see how it could get much better, honestly. Like people complaining that they're trying to get taps while people aren't even down yet. I understand the frustration, but if the deployment penalties weren't so punishing, people would probably feel less of a need to like do that, because that sounds actually so toxic.
Yeah.
That's something I would never even try to do. I'd be like, I'm not doing that. Like risking this guy being alive. Like, yep. I don't know. It's just too crazy to me. But like, what else do you do as a dev? There's nothing really else you could do other than, like you said, awarding everyone the same amount as long as your team gets a kill, which I don't think makes sense, because you're right.
No, I think that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, especially for the majority of players who play ranked, I would imagine, do queue solo. So if you're queuing solo, like, you definitely should be not be punished for, having bad teammates, or rather, you shouldn't be rewarded for having a good random teammate or whatever. So, yeah. I think if they just start gradually lowering the deployment fees, it's going to be about as good as it gets. Unless someone has some giant brain idea on how a rank system should work with so many teams in the same match, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. And I think it is pretty good, you know. Like, people that are iridescent, there are people who will play, you know, 3 times as many hours in a season as some iridescent kid and never be iridescent. So the rating system does work. Like, people will get stuck about where they should be, I think. So
yeah. There are just a lot of other things going on though too. Like, sometimes the death fees aren't tracking correctly. Like, sometimes people aren't getting death fees as of this update. They didn't say anything about it. Don't know if it's intended. So that's kind of another thought, is maybe also just get rid of the death fees at this point. Not really sure. I don't know how I think about, what I think about that one. I haven't put too much thought into it, but those seem to not be working. And then also I saw some other tweets today about somehow people that are the same rank, whoever is getting the least amount of kills at the end of the match ends up with the most amount of SR. So I don't know. Like, people are saying there are a lot of bugs now since they put out this update, and like to just not even play ranked at this point until they fix things.
Yeah. But that is unfortunate, but they'll probably fix those things. Which actually reminds me, do you think that Raven or Treyarch will change how the SR system works further? Because this problem, it's a big problem, but it's only for a very small portion of the player base. So do you think they will like lower deployment fees or do something else so that players at the top 250 keep playing?
Yeah, but I think they won't. I don't think they'll make any more drastic SR changes until season 3 now.
That's what
something like changing the
thinking,
deployment fees mid-season, that's a pretty big change. So I think they would have to wait for a new season to do that. I know, like, a lot of the top 250 players also, they wanted the taps gone, but now they're also mad they did it in the middle of the season. And they say it kind of ruins everyone's rating, basically, because they changed it mid-season and they should have just waited till the next one. It's like, dude, you guys have been complaining nonstop about the taps. You really want to deal with that for another 48 days or whatever?
Yeah,
it's like, shut up. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
You're just saying that now because it changed, so that's stupid. But yeah, I think like deployment fee changes, you'd have to wait till a new season.
Maybe season 2 Reloaded. But
well, it's just because the leaderboards are the same until the new season. That's what I'm talking about. So that'll change things a lot with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They have to change other things though, for sure.
I think they will too, because those people are very vocal and their communities care, even though they're not top 250. Like us. Like, I care about this, even though it's never going to affect me. Yeah. I think that's probably true for a lot of people. So I think they will change it eventually.
Yeah, this kind of worries me too for big map rank, because it's like they're making changes mid-season, they're still getting negative feedback, and it's like we don't even have a date on when we're getting Urzikstan ranked yet.
Yeah,
like I kind of feel like internally these things could be delaying that for them. Like maybe if they were thinking about season 3, now they're thinking about season 3 Reloaded instead and doing like a half season thing.
We still have not heard anything about big map ranked other than we're getting it at a time. That's all.
That's it.
So that's a little scary. Yeah. So we will keep you guys posted as always, but moving on here, a couple bug fixes and nothing too crazy there, I don't think. So, fixed an issue preventing a player from using a backup pistol underwater while having a melee weapon equipped. I had an issue where I didn't have a melee weapon equipped, but I still couldn't pull out my pistol underwater. This was a while ago, but I wonder if that's an issue. It's only happened to me once.
Well, there's also the one you get, so that's happened to you guys, and there's also the one where you leave the water and you can't weapon swap and you're stuck with the pistol out for some reason.
Oh,
that one exists too. I've had that once, so that's
it's cool. A little wonky. So anyway, and then lastly, there was an update today, Thursday, the 22nd. A playlist update, and Tanner insisted we cover this.
Yes, go to the bottom and read about it.
So
they say some things.
There's a lot of things. We're not reading you what the playlists are. You can go read them yourself. But they wrote words about it. The next 2 weeks, we'll see the return of Mini Royale, a fast-paced, straight-to-the-action variant of BR. As a dedicated duos mode, it is the perfect place to experience a faster BR with a buddy. Okay. BR Preview will also make a return. Oh, okay. Still with the covert exfil and the weapon case features. Oh, but now also with zombie power-ups, which we've seen positive reactions to in Resurgence. Really? Okay. Following our recent poll, we're interested in seeing them in action in a more traditional BR experience. Oh, okay, never mind. I misunderstood. So we thought, what better way to give players a feel for how it all plays than adding it to the BR preview? So I like the preview coming back because the covert exfil and weapon case thing is cool. I hate zombie power-ups, but that is the purpose of an experimental playlist. So if you want to do dumb crap in BR, at least put it in the dedicated experimental goofy playlist, the Goofy playlist. I'm okay with that.
Goofy
That's why experimental playlists should exist. Will I enjoy zombie power-ups on Urzikstan? Absolutely not. And I'm very curious what they mean by positive reactions to this on Resurgence means.
Yeah, nobody likes this. There's no way. It's not that popular.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. But this is why having an experimental playlist in Warzone is good, because then they won't have to foist this on everyone else who does not want to zombie power up. So anyway, moving on from there. Then as the Horde Hunt seasonal event concludes at the end of week 3, we'll also be bringing back Vondel into Resurgence rotation across all 4 squad sizes. Alongside the above, players will still be able to play ranked.
That was pretty much it. It was just talking about the BR preview. The rest of it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm reading it now. Yep. So there you go.
So yeah, it's kind of funny. They're calling it BR preview, like it's supposed to be like a test playlist though, but they're still doing the covert exfil and weapons case. It's like, okay, I don't think you're really going to put those in the game. And then also for the power-ups, they did a little vote on Twitter if they should bring them to Urzikstan or not. 30% of people said yes. 70% of people said no, and they still bring it to the experimental playlist.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of like, okay, why even run the vote then if you're going to add it to the experimental? But that's fine. You know, just if they add it to pubs still at this point, L Raven. I don't know if they will, but
right.
It actually the power-ups weren't that big of a issue. We played this morning a few matches of the preview mode. It's not as big of a deal as it is on Resurgence, because like Resurgence, there are 10 chests in one building and every single one has a power-up in it. BR, it seems like they lowered the spawn rate and then there's just less chests in general, so you're not seeing them as often.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never saw the wall hack one. In fact, I think I only saw 2. I saw like the armor plate one, and then I got speed boost one time, and that was nice because it was a dead lobby and I was trying to find people and there was no balloon near me. So I sprinted for 60 seconds with that speed boost and never saw a person. Smile. But yeah, and a little PSA there as well. When you load into the BR preview, it does not show that it's tracking wins towards a nuke. It's not counting your wins. But when you leave your match, it actually is. So if you guys are like close to getting 30 wins on the season and want to try a nuke contract, or if you just want to grind out wins, that's still tracking them actually. So take advantage of that because the lobbies are not good. There is, let's be super clear, zero skill-based matchmaking in this mode. Awful players everywhere.
Yeah, that makes
really
sense.
Bad. I think our first game, I think Jake had like 21. I think I had 18. Somebody else had like 16, 19. I mean, just burger bot lobbies. Awful.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
If you want to feel good about yourself, go play that mode. Grab the weapons case. Let all the burger bots come and fight you and
find out.
Kill them all. It's fun.
Yeah. That is good little intel there. So that's it for the patches. As we said, that was more than I thought it was actually, but still nothing too crazy. But there you go, and we will see more next week, I'm sure. I had forgotten about the ranked changes because it happened on Friday. So it was like right after we had done our episode. But yeah. So anyway, we covered them now. So yeah, now moving on to news and upcoming changes. Not much to talk about here. People have been on the TL a lot lately talking about cheaters, though. And so I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. Nadeshot wrote a massive tweet with no paragraphs, just one big block of text, L, about it. And a lot of other people have been talking about it as well. And interestingly, they have been saying the cheaters are really bad, both in multiplayer and in Warzone, which I find pretty interesting because a lot of times, like especially in Verdansk, when everyone was complaining about cheaters, it was all Warzone. No one was, I guess there was no ranked multiplayer back then either, so maybe people cared less. But again, keep in mind, if you want to play multiplayer, you have to buy the game, whereas with Warzone, you don't. So the fact that there are evidently cheaters infesting ranked multiplayer right now, which according to Nadeshot and many others is the case, and Warzone, is pretty surprising and pretty troubling. I'm not going to read this tweet, but basically he's saying, yeah, ranked multi is plagued with cheaters, and I don't even want to know what Resurgence looks like. The game is fun, but you need to fix the anti-cheat and then have higher tick rate servers. It's hilarious that he says we should have higher tick rate servers, buddy. Hey, man, you want him to jerk you off too? Come on. We've been asking for higher tick rate servers for a long time. That is not happening.
I agree, but it's
that'd be great, happening. But like, bro, they would fix the cheating problem sooner than do high tick rate servers, basically. But cheaters have been pretty bad, according to ranked players, both in multiplayer and in Warzone. And we played Pubs Urzikstan yesterday, and I don't know, man. Every team was the most aware team I've ever fought in any video game ever. They knew everything always, and no one was like spin botting or anything. But I was like, boy, either the SBMM is crazy right now, or a lot of these people are walling. And I suspect a lot of those people were walling, because it was a rough day in Urzikstan.
And then suddenly today,
every single game.
Opposite. Yeah.
So I think the cheaters are pretty bad for everyone right now, including Pubs. I just can't prove it in Pubs like you can in ranked multiplayer. Like, it's very easy to see there. You know?
Were you in that match with us yesterday when we got a guy live kicked?
No, I was not.
There was they killed us. I think Lag or somebody was like, this guy's cheating. And then or maybe it was cheating. Jake died to him. He's like, oh yeah, this guy's like actually cheating. Like, he was walling, and I think he was like soft aiming or something, not spin botting, but he ended up killing me too. I watched the kill cam. I'm like, oh yeah, he is. So we all reported him one time, and then all of a sudden, as we're spectating him, 2 seconds later, it just like is swapping teammates, and we're like, what happened? And then we look, and he didn't die, and he was just out of the match. He wasn't, we didn't like see it say he got kicked, but he just wasn't on the team list anymore. And
interesting.
Nowhere to be found. So it's like, it's weird because when you encounter somebody that's obviously cheating, like very clearly, and you report them 2 or 3 times, they're immediately gone. It's just like, it happens pretty quick once you report them, but why does nothing happen prior to that?
That has happened to us a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. You're right.
It's like, how is it even getting to that point? And that guy, by the way, I don't think he was like a sub level 55 account. I'm pretty sure he was like in the hundreds or something. So it's like, how long was that guy cheating for?
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
But the MW3 is definitely, or multiplayer is definitely plagued with cheaters. I've watched Nadeshot specifically stream ranked literally twice. I've checked in for like minutes. Both times on totally different days, there was an obvious cheater on the other team that was iridescent in the top 250. So that does kind of tell you, even in a game that costs money, the cheaters are still out.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't like. I'm like, yeah, how much are these guys paying to rebuy the game? Like, how cheap are they getting it for from somewhere?
It's just so weird to grind rating in like multiplayer ranked and cheat. So like you can't even stream it and make money doing it. Your account's eventually going to get banned. So why are you doing it? Like
100%. I don't get it.
Cheat for money at least. At least it makes sense that way. But like cheating your way to top 250 just and being basically disallowed from like making anything out of that. That's not going to make you a challenger or take you to the CDL, obviously. It's not going to get you a streaming career because you aren't going to be able to stream if you're cheating, obviously. So like, why are you even doing it? That's really weird to me. Really weird.
There really is no point to do it. Like Tarkov cheating, I understand. They get paid. Those guys make more than they pay for cheats by doing carry services, bringing in gear, RMT, things like that. Yeah, so they literally make more money, so they can just afford to constantly buy new accounts because people pay for that stuff. But in COD, it's like, what are you buying? What are you cheating for in ranked multiplayer, right? What are you getting out of that?
It's
Nothing?
very
like,
weird.
What?
Yeah, it's super weird. So anyway, I don't know, but if you've been playing literally anything related to Call of Duty, except zombies, the zombies aren't cheating, but they're not fun either, so it doesn't matter. But anything multiplayer, so multiplayer unranked, Warzone unranked, Warzone ranked, multiplayer ranked, and you feel like you're just not good at the game anymore all of a sudden, it's because a lot of people are cheating. Just a lot of them. Yeah.
Little buds out there eating.
Yeah. And that really does confirm for me, basically, yesterday, there were a lot of people bullshitting in our lobbies. There were. It felt like there were some wallers. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic awareness. Yep.
Yeah, there was no like obvious waller kill cam for me, except for that one team. But supposedly they weren't cheating. I'm not gonna get into it, but just in general, I was like, everyone's too aware. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, there was a weapon bundle that was being sold called the Gassed Up Weapon Vault Bundle. And it was listed for 3,400 COD points, which I believe was the equivalent of like $40.
I'm pretty sure it's like one for one. I think it's about $34. That's what I had seen. I haven't bought COD points in a while, but from what I saw, that's basically a $34 bundle.
Okay.
Yeah, making it the highest price bundle ever, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a normal like bundle. I think it may have had like tracer packs, nothing crazy. This had been in the files for months. I had seen this talked about by leakers a lot of times, how there's this bundle coming that's 3,400 COD points. So let's be clear, they went back and they're like, oh, there was a pricing error. So if you bought it at 3,400, we're going to refund you 1,000. Let's be super clear, that was not a pricing error. They only dropped it because they were getting such negative feedback on it. Like everybody was like, are you kidding me? 3,400 COD points for this pile of crap. So they lowered it to 24. Yeah, but let's be clear, that was not a pricing error. There's just no way. They only did it because of all the backlash. If they had sold a bunch of those copies and nobody said anything, they would have never changed it, obviously, right? I mean,
yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, it seems that way. Did it at least have like more stuff in it than the 2,400 ones?
Let me see. Gassed Up Bundle Wars. Now let's take a peek at what it was.
Because I think it'd be pretty obvious to tell if they meant for it to be more expensive or not, based on like if a normal 2,400 bundle has like 8 things and this one had like 12. I would be like, okay, they probably meant to price it this way.
I
and then
feel like it was.
Went back.
I think it was meant. So it has a WSP 9 blueprint, and I think they're all with tracer rounds. So a WSP 9, a WSP Stinger with tracer rounds, a WSP Swarm with tracer rounds, 3 decals, stickers, emblems, 4 of them, 1 hour of double XP, 1 hour of double weapon XP, 1 hour of double battle pass. That's for sure way more than a normal 2,400 bundle, which means they intended to price it at 34.
Exactly.
And now they're going back on their word. Yeah.
Yeah. L Activision.
Common Activision L. Yeah.
Common Activision L and a common Activision PSYOP and a common Activision lie to cover it up after the fact. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Activision is not above doing this. Don't ever forget that. Yeah. So speaking of Activision, they've been in a little hot water here, huh?
Activision is being sued. Yeah. Activision is being sued for $680 million in damages they're being sued by Scump, Optic Scumpy, and Optic Hex, who is the founder and owner of Optic Gaming. So there's a lot about this. I'm just going to read the Bloomberg Law article that first broke the news. But there's a lot more info out there if you care. It gets kind of confusing, but here's they say, Activision Blizzard has an unlawful monopoly over professional leagues and tournaments for players of its popular video game Call of Duty. Some of the game's top players alleged Thursday in a Los Angeles federal court. I hate that sentence. Do you?
Yeah, they need to start with the word allegation somewhere.
Wasn't a big fan of that structure. Yeah. Moving on, multiple groups including Activision, GameStop, and Major League Gaming used to organize open Call of Duty leagues and tournaments with modest entry fees for fans to watch top players compete in the first-person shooter video game. In late 2019, Activision allegedly took over the market and closed off all leagues except for the Activision Call of Duty League.
That's just true, by the way.
Yeah.
They're saying allegedly so they don't get sued themselves. Yeah.
Yep.
But that literally
playing
is true.
professional Call of Duty, the massively popular game created and owned by Activision, is the esport equivalent of professional football, the suit says.
Well,
the best players profit from the games through sponsorships, endorsements, and social media attention. But since the leagues and tournaments were brought under Activision's control, players essentially can't earn compensation from other entities. A number of popular teams were allegedly cut out of competition because they didn't want to or couldn't agree to Activision terms because of the amount of money. Plaintiff Hector Rodriguez, a longtime leader of Pro Call of Duty Team Optic, was forced into a financially devastating partnership to continue competing, the complaint says. Activision allegedly forced Rodriguez, known as Hex, to partner with billionaire investors who demanded a 92.5% ownership share in his company. So he had to pay a high entry fee, share portions of his arranged investor sponsorship with a gaming company, and couldn't seek any outside sponsorships because that's what Activision does. They don't let you partner with certain things when you're under the CDL.
Right.
So Rodriguez sues alongside Seth Abner, known as Scump, blah, blah. Activision's sole league system was imposed upon pro team owners and players and wasn't the product of a collaborative agreement, according to the complaint. Activision allegedly leveraged its trademark and ownership of Call of Duty to control the downstream pro gaming market. Rodriguez and Seth are seeking $680 million in damages.
Jeez.
So then Activision came out and said, blah, blah, Hex and Scump demanded that Activision pay them tens of millions of dollars to avoid this meritless litigation. And when their demands were not met, they filed. We strongly defend against these claims and have no basis in fact or law. We are disappointed that these members of the esports community would bring this suit, which is disruptive to team owners, players, fans, and partners who invested so much time and energy into the Call of Duty League's success.
Wow.
They really like tooting their own little horn there, don't they?
They do. Yeah. Meritless litigation. By the way, when I laughed, I was laughing at the phrase financially devastating.
Yeah.
I was not laughing at Hex being devastated financially. That sucks. But the phrase financially devastating in quotes in text is funny. It just was funny looking to me. So this is crazy. I don't know what to make of this. I'm not a lawyer, although I could be. And it's easier than being a podcaster.
That is true, yeah.
To be clear. So I don't know what the merits are of this case, but you know, the counsel for Activision saying it's meritless does not necessarily, obviously, mean it is in fact meritless. However, my intuition tells me that if I own the video game Call of Duty and I own the trademark, legally, I'm allowed to be the sole organizer of tournaments. Because if I let, like, whatever, MLG do it, and then MLG hosts a Call of Duty tournament sponsored by the neo-Nazi party, the Ku Klux Klan, and like Hamas and the Houthis, that's a bad look for Activision. Now, obviously, MLG wouldn't do that, but would it be illegal if MLG did do that for Activision to be like, whoa, man, you can't play our game in a tournament sponsored by the Houthis? You can't do that. That's not allowed. And because it's their IP, intuitively, it seems to me that they would be well within their rights to say, you guys can't host tournaments with our video game if we don't allow you to. Now, that doesn't mean I support Activision monopolizing, not the legal term, but the, whatever. I don't necessarily support Activision being the only organizers of tournaments as of MW 2019. I think that has been bad for pretty much everyone in the Call of Duty esports scene. Like, it's been bad for the players. It's been bad for the orgs, obviously. And it's been bad for the viewers as well, because there are just way fewer events happening now. So it's also like kind of good for Activision, but also kind of bad, because they're probably getting way fewer viewers at these tournaments than they otherwise would be, but they're compensating for that loss in revenue by charging the franchising fee that they do for each org, which is like $30 million or whatever. So yeah. Overall, I guess Activision is benefiting from doing it. That's why they've done it. But for everyone else, it's been just a bad thing. So I don't support Activision's decision to have done this, but is it illegal? Again, I'm not a lawyer. We'll see where the lawsuit goes, but it seems to me like it wouldn't be illegal for them to do what they've done. And I don't think Scump and Hex are going to be successful here.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Especially, I don't know all of it, but I don't know why Scump is even involved, unless maybe he's part owner of Optic now. I have no idea, but I don't know why he's even involved. Like, even everything that was discussed is all about Hex, basically. But here's some other things I quickly grabbed from Charlie Intel. The lawsuit alleges that Activision bought MLG in 2016 basically to monopolize the esports business, and claiming Activision failed to get FTC permission to acquire MLG.
Interesting.
Okay, so Scump is part owner of Optic. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then it goes, so basically what happened with Hex was he sold Optic in 2017 and then reacquired the brand, but Activision said he needed investors to back his spot in the league, which is then why he had to essentially merge with the billionaires he was talking about, who's the Envy organization, because that organization had way more money backing them, basically. And so then he had to essentially sell off Optic, almost all of it, other than the 7% or whatever, so that they could even get a spot in the CDO. So that's where the damages are coming from.
Right.
Another thing here, lawsuit states that Activision signed the CDL streaming rights deal with YouTube because Google offered Activision price discount deals using Google Cloud. So that's why they did that. So they get discounts on Google Cloud.
Interesting.
Blah, blah, that we already talked about. Activision allegedly forced CDL teams to sign new terms where Activision would be released from any claims against them in exchange for debt relief, and claims teams that didn't sign the deal would not be allowed to host events.
Whoa. Debt relief. So they charge you an exorbitant franchising fee or whatever, 30 million to participate. And then they say, don't worry, you only have to pay 10 million. And we'll just wipe the 20 million off the slate if you sign a contract or whatever document that doesn't let you sue us in the future. pretty smart. Pretty smart, pretty snaky if true, but yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then, another thing here that Charlie Intel says, which kind of makes sense, is it'll, basically saying it'll be interesting to see where this goes, because Activision could also just end the CDL and COD esports and move on from this if it kind of does come down to that, maybe. Because there's been talks of that, about the CDL kind of going away soon and all of that. So I think that's kind of what they're saying, is like they could just essentially disband the CDL at some point and somehow get around these lawsuits, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. I feel like the asking for $680 million is a little outrageous, though. I'll be honest there. Not
That's
sure
what you're supposed to do, though.
And then what, they get $4 million?
Yeah, exactly.
680 and get a few.
Yeah. It's like that Malcolm in the Middle episode. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it'll be successful? You think they'll win or settle?
I don't think
so.
I think
they'll come for a settlement.
I think they'll come to some sort of settlement. Yeah, because I don't know if you can go up against Activision and win a lawsuit when it comes to something like that. I mean, they've got to have one of the best legal teams out there, probably.
They have a considerable legal team for sure.
They make a good amount of cash. They can afford the best ones out there. So
on the other hand, though,
I don't think this goes. I think they settle for something.
Scump and Hex also have a lot of money too. So everyone's going to have a competent legal team. Activision
Hex is definitely stacked up, yeah.
A more competent legal team, probably, or at least a better funded one. But
they have a few more dollars, yeah.
Pretty interesting. I'm very curious to see where this goes. But yeah, knowing nothing about any of the any laws really, it seems to me like they can't win this lawsuit. Because again, I'm imagining like, okay, some random organization hosts a Call of Duty tournament and they're sponsored by, whatever. Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-il's dead. That's a bad look for Call of Duty. And I could see Activision being like, hey, man, you can't use our IP for your North Korea tournament in Pyongyang. That's not okay. And I feel like they would be within their legal right to do that if intellectual property means anything. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That I'm curious to see. But I don't think we will see because, I think they will very likely settle or they'll just lose. But I think a settlement is actually probably pretty likely. Because Activision's going to be paying a lot of money for a case like this. They don't want to lose $680 million. So, I think the way it works, by the way, if you're a company, is like Activision has a law firm or 2 or 3 or whatever on retainer. But when they actually have to do stuff, they pay them on top of the retainer. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be costing them a lot of money just to be fighting the lawsuit. So it might at some point be worth more money to them to just settle and be like, all right, we'll give you guys, I don't know, 50 million or whatever. And that we anticipate that'll save us. Man, 50 million though. Are they going to spend that much on a lawsuit? Probably not. So no, I don't know. I don't know what happens. I'm very curious to see, but I mean, I hope they win Activision, but I don't think they will.
They're not getting 680 million.
That seems
that's official.
Yeah. That seems official. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. We're done. Hope you enjoyed. A little longer of an ep than I thought it would be, but that's okay. We will see you guys on Saturday for our next episode. Not sure what we will be discussing, but it'll be fun and exciting. I can guarantee you that. And I'm curious when Season 2 Reloaded is. That's kind of where I'm at now. That's the next little milestone for me. So we'll see. Nice. And in the meantime, we will keep you guys informed and entertained. Stay humble.
Stay humble.